Hey everyone, how is everyone doing? Like my traditional hat from northern mountains, northern Pakistan. Actually, it's not really from Hunza. This whole ring is a little different. But shouldn't it be like this? Something like that? Isn't that the fashion now there? Huh? I mean, I've been in here in America for so long. How about that? Huh? Uh, I'm doing my podcast on this Wednesday night, and and uh, I was just trying to finish up some work. I cooked some food, and then I took a nap for like 15, 20 minutes after because I didn't get enough sleep last night. You know, I don't know, maybe because me and my wife kind of are on a what do you call it, ceasefire, right? Well, whatever it is, she's fine. I understand where she's coming from, but I told you guys I had been a little depressed. Just like shut myself down, right, and all that jazz. Especially this time of the year, and she's not here, and then all the other externalities, right? All the other externalities. I'm sorry, I apologize. Well, why are you affected by those externalities, sir? Well, I don't know. Because I'm emotional, you know. Well, speaking of which, I wanted to talk about something else on this podcast, all right? I talk about all the time. Yes, it has been difficult for me, you know, since 2022, after I went back to mountains, met my family and all that, right? But one thing I have to say, I have to apologize to everyone because sometimes I just become I just get angry and texts to people and I apologize. Uh, but sometimes, yeah, you can say I can justify all that, but I just need to like live my own life and just not be bothered with other people's lives. That's what it is, you know. And because sometimes they just like you try to help people, but actually you're really not helping other people, right? And I guess because not a lot of people like me, not a lot of people like me, and and then the other reason why this time of the year, especially for me, is like I think I said this in my podcast, right, many times. 5 years ago, exactly 5 years ago, around this time, when I just went through some real like bad stuff, not bad stuff like going to jail or anything, but I had some health issues, and that just gives me kind of PTSD. I remember that Thanksgiving in November 5 years ago. I didn't have my citizenship. I didn't have a girlfriend. I just didn't want to like. But I mean, I was at a point where I'm like, and I couldn't. I couldn't go meet my ancestors. I mean, my extended family back in Pakistan. I so much wanted to go to mountains. And so that just really made me depressed. And that was right after I came back from Colorado, pristine, Rocky Mountains. So this time of the year just gives me PTSD, to be honest with you. And And then also, I think the PTSD, I mean, it's not a clinical, depression, but uh, I understand everybody has that, but I think for me, again, without sounding uh, too much into my own like self therapy or self therapeutic, right, or whatever you call it. I have to like logically think about these things because somehow logic works in life. Logic works in life, especially you're an emotional person. So in any case, so all these things, and then also, yeah, I mean, fucking COVID gives me PTSD, just years and years of fucking living by myself, in isolation, sort of, right? You can say solitude, but also isolation. I just isolated myself. Um, and and now, after I went back to mountains and I got married with this amazing lady, and now I don't want to. I just somehow my brain or my mind in a what do you call, in a natural sense, natural way of, like, for example, something to the effect of telling me, right, hey man, listen, you are married now, you should be with your significant other, right? And then so your days of like living by yourself should be over, right? And that just like, and then that has taken a toll on me, and then just not like being like with my childhood friends and all that, right? And are not being in that kind of setup, because we are very like close, people from the mountain, we were close, and and just being in that kind of setup, and then thinking about this like thinking about this drag of life, like life dragging. It's That's what I felt like 5 years ago, you know, because I thought I was just dragging my life for nothing, without a purpose, and that just like makes me feel like, like some sort of a self pity, man, why did you do that? Why? I mean, you could still travel, you had a green card, this and that, right? In any case, so all that jazz, right? All this jazz, whatever, dance, right? Music. I'm talking about of my life, jazz, dance, and music of my life for the past 20 years, Um, and so I have just lived by. I just lived by, with whatever I could do, And maybe my wife thinks that I should be so much like disciplined and everything in my like perfect, that 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 I don't know. I don't know. I know. I understand. She has her rights to to be angry at me sometimes, but uh, again, I have taken this 180-degree right turn in my life. Or what was the other choice, sir? The other choice was to just like leave the way you lived, right? Survived COVID, and in that fucking isolation, right? And I could just go on, right, by myself and just like, I don't know, man. I had no fucking idea, at this point in time. Uh, so I know, I understand that she realizes that too. That it's not just easy for me to take this turn and start this new life. I still am gonna. I'm still going to have those perks. Of my past life and all that, right? And the biggest thing is, okay, so come home, right? Same fucking routine, same drag of fucking life, right? Talking to walls, talking to fucking whatever, right? Furniture. I'm not saying that, that just because I live in the West, now because I feel like I had isolated myself and then I got married and then I went back to mountains, right? Got married and then I went back to that kind of social life, Sort of did that, and now I feel like, what the hell? What kind of a life is this, And that's what's actually is taking a toll on me. I feel like I should be talking to human beings more instead of isolating myself, And does that help? Yeah. Talking to other people. I'm not saying that you should talk to other people, random people, and then just start making them as your friends, or make them your therapist, or you become their therapist, right? But there are some events in a person's life that actually affects their perspective on life. I think that's what I feel like, that somehow some things in my life, have actually made me rethink the whole life, the whole like purpose of the whole life, even itself, right? And I feel like I lived a shadow life, a shadow fucking life, and I feel like I'm rising from some fucking, in my mind, I'm rising from some fucking like, this isolated, mind fuck kind of like uh, other realm of space I was in, in my own mind, And again, I love my wife, and this is normal. We will have differences, right? But yeah, these things, we don't talk about these things, especially us. As logical as I am, I'm also emotional, and this is what I want to talk about tonight. I was kind of reading about astrology. Now, astrology, as you all know, is different from astronomy, right? People think astrology and astronomy are like brother and sisters. No. astrology is based on. Zodiac signs, I think the Greeks came up with, or were they Romans or Babylonians, right? Based on the time of the year, means rotation of our Earth around Sun, right? Where it was with respect to our Sun, and then more importantly with respect to the nearest constellations, star systems, right? So they came up with these names for these constellations, right? These Leo and this and that. Though I think those constellations actually real? Means that they are there, the way they are shown. Oh, this constellation looks like a what do you call a horse? Am I right, or am I just like throwing it out there? Let's just say that I'm just throwing it out there, that there is a constellation that looks like I think it looks like a lion or something, right? In any case, so I logically I looked into this to see. I am a guy who doesn't believe in astrology, but then I am Pisces, right? I'm Pisces because I was born on March 17th, which is basically early spring, right? Which is basically the end of these zodiac signs. So zodiac signs are 12, right? 12 zodiac signs, and Pisces is the last. And apparently, Pisces are very emotional people. Now, how does that actually work? Or is that because we're just emotional because astrology is bullshit? Because it can just, based on whoever came up with this whole, what do you call, it's not like tarot reading, right? Tarot cards, because tarot cards are, it's just like you go to like a tarot reader, right? They'll pull up a card and then they will tell you what your destiny is going to be and blah, 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 right? But the interesting part that I want to talk about is the emotional part for let's say us Pisces, right? If I were to like discuss astrology, I don't know why. I guess this is exactly why. So the zodiac signs go by where the Earth is, right, with respect to Sun, which would be time of the year, right? And then also the weather, right? And then on the other side, you have all these constellations, right? Different locations. If you do a 360, right, rotation of Earth around Sun, or 360 days, 365 days in our case, right? Our planet's rotation around Sun, right? So it has obviously 4 seasons, right? We have 4 seasons, and let's say that every season perfectly is 3 months, right? Equivalent of planetary time, right? Planet Earth's time. So if you take, for example, this is how I think somebody from NASA is actually was trying to explain this. I was reading an article. So astrology is basically, for example, if you sit on top of planet Earth, right, with a long stick, right, pointing away from Sun and pointing to these other star systems, and then you sit there, right, or even just a camera, right, you set up one of those like observatory, right, cameras, and then set it up there, and then let it basically just take a video shot or whatever of all the constellations, right, for 365 days for the whole year, right? So which constellations are actually uh, with constellations are you come across, depending on where you are, right? So does that make even fucking sense? I don't think it makes even sense either. Because you would think that, okay, so one possibility why we are emotional, I think, is the time of the year we are born, right? Because of whatever, like for example, early spring is sort of like, end of like fucking resources on Earth, right? No, like plant, no, like forget the harvest. Harvest time, when people who are born at the harvest time, I think they are their life is pretty much good, right? A lot of abundance of food, and you open wine cellars and this and that, right? After harvest, right? But if you go towards like February, March, right, early, and then it just becomes gloomy and depressing, and then there's no food, and you can't grow anything yet, because it's too fucking cold, right? So, yeah, weather-wise, there is a possibility. And then the lack of food, right? And then maybe mothers get depressed, and when they start having babies around that time, the babies are going to be emotional, right? Is that a possibility back in the days, right? I can imagine from where I'm from. Where I'm from in mountains is like February, March. Now it starts to warm up, right? But there's no real food. There's no, like, all the food storage is gone, and now we have work back to fucking blowing and like preparing for uh, farming and all that, right? Beginning of the season. So I can imagine from where I come from, I could have been emotional based on that. But then that is not really logical either. Is that logical? It could be a little bit logical. I can understand that. But people say, how you are born and how you are in terms of your interactions with other people. Like, for example, you are like an introvert, or you're an extrovert, or you want to be away from people. That's what Pisces are too. You want to be away from people, because then you don't want to know too much, especially in crowds and all that, right? You want to basically spend a lot of time by yourself. Yes, I understand that part. The reason I'm talking about this is because some of these things apply to me, being born in that time of the year, in that zodiac sign. All right, and here I'm trying to provide a logical explanation. Is that even true? Could that be true? It could very well be true. However, it is not. See, it could partially be true, just like I said, right? But what the zodiac signs, your zodiac signs tell you is that you are actually your behavior, your sort of like your emotions, or if you are whatever you are, right? Introvert, extrovert, or that's based on the zodiac sign. I means the constellations in front of you, right? Constellations in front of you, but that doesn't make any fucking sense either. It means not in front of me. Well, like, for example, when I say you stand on top of Earth with a stick, right? And then when we go around, but then you're standing on one location of Earth, right? So if that was the case, right? If that was the case, that the zodiac sign for, let's say, for us Pisces, right, would be, depending on where you are on Earth, right? you would be basically closer on the outside, on the outer world, towards the interstellar space, right, away from sun. You would be basically facing a certain constellation, right? But it's around the same time of the year, means March, right? 17. There will be another person on the opposite side of my location of birth, right? They would be influenced by another star system, right? So that doesn't make any fucking sense. Am I debunking like astrology? Sort of. But I think this emotional part is because of the weather and where you are, or where you were born, in the season. That's what it is, right? But are all Pisces really fucking emotional, and are they introverts and sort of like that, right? I don't think so. And this whole thing with like, oh, you're a star out there, another star out there, it basically governs your life and this and that, right? No, because if that was the case, then all Pisces would have the same fucking star, right? Depending on where you are, which is impossible. All right? So that is illogical for us to say that, a star system actually is governing or has governed your life from the day of your birth. All right? I think it's the seasons. And where you are on the planet, or where you were born on the planet, that actually affects your emotions. And then obviously your emotions are really affected by if something happened with your mother when she was pregnant, or all those things, right? In case of my mother, she was extremely young when I was born, right? And she was a teenager. So what do you want me to say? Oh yeah, that explains it, right? And so this whole thing with astrology, I was actually reading about this to see what the hell this is, astrology, and this is what it is. Because astrology, when the astrology people start talking about stars and constellations and all that, then astronomers really have to like say, wait, what are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense. Just like I just explained it, right? I just explained it that this doesn't make any fucking sense. That any star system would have influence on our personalities. No. Unless there's some ether, such as dark matter, right? Which we do. 95% is dark matter. Dark energy, don't we? In our universe. However, even that doesn't fucking explain anything, all right? Moon's gravity, when moon comes close to our Earth, obviously it has the effect such as, tides, right? Tides, ocean tides, twice a day, ups and downs. And that, I think, also affects women or whatever it is. I don't know. Even that, I think you can debunk. How does that actually affect women's emotions, huh? It doesn't make any fucking sense either. Moon. No, I don't believe in that either. So that was my take on astrology, right? And I can't do a long podcast, an hour podcast, Why, sir? You're going through your own emotions, your own period, because of types or because of astrology? But I do have some, I have some like emotions, just like all of us. It's just that I have to be able to not suppress them, live with them, live with them, control them, not show them, like fucking, you know, especially, because this can be a weapon, remember. When I say, this can basically screw your relationships with other people, other whatever, right? No matter how, like, wrong they could be in their lives and this and that, right? Because he said something stupid and just like, oh my God. And then actually it affects you, It really affects you more than them, I think. And then they also are obviously worried about you. But then on the other hand, I would say, I could be sometimes a maniac on the text messages, right? But then the other people who are just so fucking silent as if their life is so fucking perfect, right? That's not good either. So you got to live a normal human life with flaws, as we are flawed humans, And I do want to do a podcast next time. Again, I said that I do want to do a podcast next time on debunking. Yeah. How about that? Means I'm not an expert to debunk it, but I think this craziness has just gone too fucking far, as if all of a sudden these creatures in what is that movie with Tom Cruise? Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. See that movie, all right, if you haven't. And that kind of says that, you are an advanced soldier who basically goes into this other realm to fight these aliens, right? Alien machines, right? And AI is not aliens, but somehow we are saying that, maybe AI is the alien. AI is not the alien. It's something we created, through our numbers and computers, right? That's what it is, algorithms. But it's not going to take over. AI itself, I don't think it has the capability, not now, to actually, become sentient and self-learn, be emotional, right? And then realizes that we created it, and then it's going to basically start weaponizing itself to basically start a war on us. I don't think so. No. Yeah, the glitches and the bugs and what do you call the computer like viruses? Those are actually somehow are started by humans. Somewhere sitting in fucking Eastern Europe or Russia, right? Or even maybe China, who the fuck knows, right? And if you think that kind of a fucking like a virus is gonna take over the whole world eventually, right? What is it gonna do? Can anyone explain that to me? I want to talk about this in more details next time. But the whole craze is just out of fucking proportion, out of proportion, I think this was the same thing. The same craze was like this about aliens after these flying saucers were seen, right, back in the fucking 60s. When was that? 50s or 60s, right? And then everybody, including Hollywood, basically started about the science fiction about aliens, and then the aliens moving around. Oh my God, they're here. Oh my God, we saw saucer, flying in the fucking sky, right? And that whole craze has subsided, although I think it has come back now. Um, because again, there are no aliens either. No. Although the other thing I wanted to talk about was the Egyptian pyramids. Somehow I feel, which I don't think is it's actually it's what I'm thinking is like more science fiction than it's even like far from being science fiction. That remember Harrison Ford's fucking movies of Indiana Jones, the Crystal Skull, right? Where these crystals actually are some aliens without any spoiler alerts, and then they have a ship somewhere in South America, right? Machu Picchu. Is that where the aliens were, right? In that movie, that somehow there is an alien ship, and the aliens somehow came here, right? And they've been trying to hide from us, right? And what they're trying to do is to basically, they know where their ship is, but it's just that they're looking for oil or fuel or parts, right, to restart the ship and then just go back, right? I don't think so. It's impossible. With the timeline, even timeline of our civilization, right? That's impossible. And did I jump from pyramids to the alien ships? Okay, so this why sir? Are you also hallucinating? Have you been hallucinating lately? No, I haven't. But I was thinking about what the purpose of those pyramids could have been. Yes, pharaohs, right? The pharaohs back before Christ, right? Or even Moses. Was that time of the Moses? Or Alexander the Great? No, even before that, much before that. They actually had their population built these because they were fucking maniacs, obviously, right? They built these just as mausoleums, means as their big graves, they had these big graves chambers and this and that, right? If you listen to archaeology about those, or even like down in South America has those too, right? But the Egyptian pyramids are like fucking crazy, out of their fucking mind, these pharaohs, right? And so these maniacs actually had these built, using their labor as burial chambers and all that, right? And they are not extremely high structures. I understand, they were built 5,000 years ago, whenever they were built, but why? What was the purpose besides like fucking, what do you call the burial chambers for their dead bodies when the pharaohs and their wives and their daughters, not daughters, sir, would die, right? But then I, in my own science fictional fucking head, right? And in my head, I was thinking, oh, hold on a second. What if there's a fucking ship down there that the aliens somehow did actually visit us whenever these fucking pyramids were built, right? And to hide those ships, they built these fucking giant, like, these pyramids, so nobody can dig and find that ship that's in the fucking ground, right? But then that's just too fucking science fiction. Wasn't that like part of the Mummy or whatever the fuck it was, right? Was that one of the Indiana Jones movies? No, no. Indiana Jones was the Crystal Skull down in South America, right? But this is also far fetched from my own thinking. Is just science fiction, right? I could start writing a book about that. Science fiction, right? Completely. Because the Babylonians, they're saying, oh, the Gilgamesh step, and then the whole fucking, beginning of fucking, what do you call the language, starting with Aramaic languages, Arabic, Hebrew, what do you call, what's the other one? I think there are a bunch of them, right? Those actually were given to us by the fucking aliens. I don't think so. So if I were to debunk, for example, because that's one area aliens might have visited us if they have visited us back in the days, right? So let's say those pyramids were built 10,000 years ago, right? So at 10,000 years ago, a civilization comes to our planet with the speed of light, sir, not life, with the speed of light, which is in terms of distance. One light year is basically speed of light times 1 year, right? That's the distance. Now multiply 10,000 by speed of light, right? And how far would you go, right? How far do you go? I'll tell you right now. And it's impossible. Let me say it. It's impossible for humans to actually travel with speed of light, or any civilization on this fucking universe, right? That's like the limit, upper limit, right? And so let's say that half of the speed of light, right? Half of the speed of light. What is half of the speed of light? What is half of the speed of light? What is half of speed of light, right? Speed of light. Okay, so here we go. Well, what is the speed of light? Sir, 386 speed of. Okay, sorry. Okay, I don't want to be too technical, but speed of light. Speed of light. So speed of light in miles. Speed of light in miles per hour, right? In miles per hour. Here you go. Can I do this fucking math right now? Okay, so 671 miles per hour, right? So multiply that by, let's say 10,000 years, right? No, speed of light in miles per year. Here we go. So speed of light is 5.8784 times 10 to the power 12 miles per year, right? So what is that, giga? I don't know. That's like tera. Jesus Christ, tera. So that's tera. I'm sorry, am I boring you guys with my maths? Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, so 5.8 times 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, there you go, right? Okay, so multiply that by 10,000 years. So, and then divide that by, what the fuck am I doing? Okay, so divide that by 5.8. Am I losing my fucking mind? Okay, so divide. Okay, so that's 5.8, right? 5.8, and then divide that by, so 10. Okay, so 10,000, right? So 10,000. So that's about 5. That's 5.8. What is that? Million is millions is no billion. Yeah, so that's not even okay. So okay, so divide that by hold on a second. 10,000. Here we go. Okay, so there you go. So that's not even 5.8. No, divide that by again. Okay, so that's about 5.8 billion miles away. Now, 5.8 billion miles away is how many light years away, sir? So that's okay. So it's simple, right? Let's go back. The aliens, let's say, if any aliens visited during the construction of pyramids, right? So from then up until today, 10,000. So that's 10,000 light years away. 10,000 light years away, right? 10,000 light years away. So that means that it took them, with the speed of light, it took them 10,000 years to get here. That's impossible. No alien civilization can travel for 10,000 years, right? Or you half the speed of light, that's 20,000 years, right? So in our lifetime, that means that our distances are so fucking wide that it's impossible for any aliens to visit us with any speed, including speed of light, given the fact that we don't have any known star systems in that vicinity, in our vicinity, for them to visit us. All right, no habitable planets. So, given the life of our civilization, it's impossible, even for pyramids, that any like fucking aliens have visited us. All right, so should we just close my podcast on that note? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like bore you all with the mathematics, but it would take them 10,000 years, right, with the speed of light. What am I saying? Even okay. So no. Let me back up, because I don't want to give you guys the wrong information. Even with the speed of light, right? With the speed of light, it will take a civilization to come here in 4 years. Let's say if we had a habitable planet near Alpha Centauri, right, which is 4 light years away from us. 4 light years away, right? We know that there's no habitable planet there, right? The next one, I believe, is at least many thousands of light years away. Many thousands of light years away. So for them to get here, no, it's impossible. I'm telling you that the only thing that's possible, if anybody can get here, which is impossible, is non-physical. And I don't even know how that works. All right, maybe psychedelics. All right, and so that means that no aliens, no fucking AI is a fucking, it has been blown out of proportion, but I'm going to talk about AI more in my next podcast. And then with that said, I will see you all next time.